We're allowing the soul to speak today, and these images are flowing from the soul and into the mind. What has popped into your mind when we moved through your soul tree onto the other side, trusting your first impression? Tell me what is in the mind's eye.
It took a long time to get here. It's a long way away. There's a lake. It's very flat. Everywhere is very flat. It's the lake, but it's a different colour.
Okay, very good. And as you look around in this new place, that lake, and you use all of your senses, I want you to connect very deeply now, very deeply, and tell me more about what you see or experience around you.
It's quite desolate. There's not very much here in comparison with this. This is not this. This is somewhere else.
And what does the sky look like on this world?
There's a big moon really close. It's scarily close. It feels like you could almost touch it. It's very close.
And as you look at this place and you notice everything around you, if you become aware of your point of perception, the place where you're viewing this from, if you look down at your feet, tell me what your feet look like.
Yeah, there's sort of, I think, 3 toes, and they're very long, almost like a bird's foot, but I'm not a bird, but very sort of long toes, splayed out toes.
Okay.
And not much foot as such. Skinny legs. Tall,
okay.
Tall.
Do you have any clothing on your body?
Not that I can see, no.
Are you aware of the colour of your skin?
It's like a greeny colour.
Okay. And what about the texture of the skin?
Texture. It doesn't feel like it has much texture as such. It's just smoothish.
Okay.
My head is sort of bulbous at the top.
Okay. Do you have any hair on your head?
No.
And what does your...
like a mantis thing.
Okay, so that's what your face looks like, is it?
A bit more like that, yes.
Okay. And so does the body feel masculine or feminine or neither?
Neither, really.
And does that body feel young or old?
Again, sort of in the middle, yeah.
And does that body feel healthy?
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. And as you integrate very fully now into that body and into that environment at the lake, you look out through the eyes. You're aware of if you're holding anything on your hands or wearing anything on your head. Mm.
Sort of hanging out by the lake. Don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay. So as you integrate very fully and look around in this place, can you tell me more about what is happening here or what you feel is happening?
There's like a sort of city type place
Okay.
behind me, and then I've left that and gone for a walk.
Okay. And why have you gone for a walk?
Just to get away from the busyness of the city. It's very busy.
Well, tell me more about the city.
It's got lots of sort of round disc like buildings. High tech stuff, lots of tech.
Okay, lots of technology.
I don't like it very much, the technology.
Oh, why don't you like the technology?
I don't know, I just prefer being by the lake.
I see. And sort of beings live in the city? Do they look like you or do they look different?
There's a mix. There's a mix of beings that live here.
Well, what sort of other beings live in the city, apart from you and your kind?
All sorts of different types. Some look human, so to speak, and others don't. They have lots of different shapes, and it's really very mixed.
Okay. So, what is it that you do? Do you have a special job?
The Mantis people.
And
I work in a tower somewhere, collecting information.
what sort of information do you collect?
It's a really tall tower. It's like an antenna. And we collect galactic information. What is happening in the local galaxy, the local place.
That sounds very interesting.
Yes, but it is very inside. There's lots of inside work.
Oh, do you prefer being outside?
Yes.
I see.
But we're only allowed to be outside for a certain amount of time. So I use my time to come to the lake.
Why are you only allowed for a certain amount of time?
because the city is very controlled.
Oh, I see. Well, who controls the city?
The people in charge.
Hmm.
We have allocated times where we may leave the city,
See.
and I use that time to come out to the lake. But not everybody uses the time. Some
Oh, I
people
see.
stay. Some people like it in the city.
And what do the people in charge look like?
Tall. They're not very nice people, maybe.
They're not very nice people. Can you tell me about that?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think that they're nice people because they're nice beings. They are not people, they are beings. They are, yes, controlling the city and controlling all of us.
Oh, I see.
Very powerful.
They're very powerful beings, are they? And what do those beings look like? Or what sort of... Oh, they're big beings, are they?
Very big, very strong, very intimidating.
Oh, I see.
I am a branch of the Mantis. Different types of Mantis people. Not all of them are here. We are all fragments of our species. All of the multitude of types of being here are just minorities. Yes, that is the word, minorities. They are minorities. They have been gathered into this place.
Who gathered them there into this place? Why are they all gathered?
And controllers wanted to gather them. Do not want it to be seen that there are such a wide variety of different beings within each race.
Oh, I see.
Controllers want to control everything. But we cannot escape. They are here, so we must make the best of what we have here.
Were you born in this place?
No, I was captured and brought here.
Tell me more about the time that you were captured.
There was a raid, and they came, and the minority fraction of the Mantis were taken. Most of them were the ones that survived, put in this place. I do not know why they still have us here, really. They should just kill us all, I suppose. But we are useful for them, gathering information for them. And we are like their workforce. But they treat us, we are okay. As long as we do what they bid, we are okay.
Oh, as long as you do what they want you to do, you're okay.
Yes. Yes.
What happens if you don't do what they want you to do?
Well, you do not do it again.
Oh.
Because they will kill you. That is how it works.
Oh, I see.
They have very powerful guns that just dissolve the person. You disappear. Yes. So it's best not to make a mistake.
where you were from, did you have a family there?
Yes, they were destroyed in the raid.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yes. But not only me, many, all of us have had lost many people. We have that in common between us, which is a good thing.
Mm. So it brings you together.
Yes, we
Mm.
understand and empathize with one another. And some people find it harder than others. But we have all been here for many years now, so it dies with time.
Good, very good. Now let's close that scene. Close that scene. And in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we're going to travel through a tunnel of time, travel through time and space to another important day in this lifetime that we are viewing, that we need to see today. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling through time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. You allow those images to flow up from your soul as you orient yourself in this new place within this lifetime that we're looking at. And tell me, what do you see around you?
We're in a different place. And I in the forest. And I just see like a Chewbacca of that type of big hairy being.
Okay.
Literally looks like Chewbacca.
You're still in the Mantis body.
No, I'm in the Chewbacca body.
Okay, so you're in the Chewbacca body.
I've left the Mantis
Mm.
somewhere else.
And so what does that body feel like if you orient yourself in that body and look out through those eyes?
Tall, heavy, set.
Mm.
Big feet, heavy. I'm just so hairy. So much hair. But it doesn't bother me because I'm big. I'm big. I'm strong. And I am carrying a weapon of some description.
Okay.
It is literally like something of Star Wars. It's like a weapon, like a gun.
Okay. So as you look down at that gun, you tell me why you're carrying a gun through this forest.
I'm on a patrol. There are a few of us just walking through the forest. Checking things. Sure, what are we checking? I feel like we're trying to protect something, making sure that no one's in the forest that shouldn't be.
Tell me more about that.
We're like their guards. We're still on the same planet, and we're still the same city. So we know that we're in a different time. We're definitely protecting a city.
So you're on the same planet that you were before in the Mantis body?
I think so.
Yeah. But now you're in this Wookiee type of a body,
Yes.
are you?
And we're just walking through this forest, protecting, we're sort of making sure that there isn't anything in the forest that shouldn't be there, or there isn't anyone in the forest that shouldn't be there.
Okay. So what's happening in this forest? Tell me more about that.
Just working out what's going on here.
It's okay. You can take your time to figure out what's going on.
I feel like there is a mantis person hiding in the forest. But I don't know whether that's still me or whether that's the bit I'm trying to figure out. I'm not sure whether it's the same mantis person,
Okay.
or I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I'm seeing it from the perspective of the protectors,
Okay. So as you feel into that scene, really feel into that. And if you can work out if you're from the perspective of the Mantis or the perspective of the Wookiees.
No, I'm still the Mantis. I have broken the rules.
Oh, you've broken the rules.
In the forest, yes, that's what's happening. So like these Chewbacca people are coming towards where I'm hiding.
Oh, so they've figured out that you're in this forest.
Yes.
And can I ask what you were doing in this forest?
I didn't want to go back to the city.
Oh, I see.
I'd had enough.
You had enough. So you went to this forest, did you?
Yes. Normally I go to the lake, but I went to the forest. And we're not allowed in the forest. And I wanted to know why. And I love the forest. But they found me. We are all chipped. They can easily find us. I knew this. I know this. I do the monitoring. I monitor everything. But it was worth it because the forest is beautiful.
And do you know why that they tell you not to go into the forest?
There's an energy source in here. And they do not want us to find it. Or tamper with it, probably, or steal it, damage it.
I see.
But I haven't found it. I didn't find it, but I know that it's here. I can feel it's here. Very powerful. But it's not easy to find. It's a big forest.
So tell me what happens next.
Yes. They will find me because I have a locator chip. You cannot hide anywhere in this area. When you arrive here, they chip you. So it is only a matter of time. But if I'm going to die, I will die in the forest, which is good. They may not kill me because I am important with how I work. There are not many that do what I do.
So tell me more about how you're important.
Well, I just am able to decipher messages and codes much more than anyone else. I do not know why. There are other Mantis people there, but it is my strength, shall we say. This is useful for these controllers because I decipher many things.
So you're very good at what you do.
Yes, yes. And that may or may not save me. There will be punishment, if not death, for sure.
So tell me what happens next.
So they capture me rather than kill me. And I'm taken back to the city. They know what my punishment would be, that I am not allowed out of the city again, which is the worst punishment for me.
That's the worst punishment for you, is it?
Yes, they know this. That's why they do it.
Oh, that's very sad for you.
There is no escape from you.
So,
trying to talk to them today to say if negotiate the punishment.
You're trying to negotiate the punishment.
Yes.
What sort of beings are you talking to try to negotiate the punishment?
It's a big fat being sitting on a throne of sorts. Very, very, very large. Yes. Ugly. Fat. Obese. So.
Are these ones usually obese, or is this one in particular just fat?
This one in particular. He's the person in charge of the whole thing, but there are people above him, of course. He is the on the ground person, but he doesn't care about the forest or the lake. He cannot get out of a chair.
Oh, I see.
It's huge, huge. Anyway, he's not listening to my plea.
Oh, he's not listening, is he?
No, but he does not realize that I just will not decipher the correct codes for him. So that is what will happen.
Oh, I see.
We will play a power game. I can incorrectly decipher the codes, and their whole operation will fall apart. Or I can correctly decipher the codes and be allowed to the lake. He is thinking about this option. He's not very intelligent, though.
Oh, you're more intelligent than he is.
Yes, definitely.
So what happens next?
He is angry that I am threatening him. I'd actually quite like him to kill me because I just don't want to do it anymore. But no, he's just angry and is putting me in isolation.
More isolation. So,
It's like a cell.
or a cell. Is that what they do if you cause trouble?
Yes, normally they kill you,
Mm.
but there are the odd oscillation cells that they use.
Mm.
Yes. Stay here. It's okay.
Mm. So does anything else happen while you're in that isolation cell?
The people I'm working with are very cross that this has happened. Very
Oh.
upset that I have been taken and causing trouble.
Mm.
There's
Does that
always,
affect them?
yes, well, there's always a ripple effect for everything.
Mm. I see. Good. Very good. Let's close that scene. Close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we're going to travel through a tunnel of time, travel through time and space to another important day in this lifetime that we are viewing, that we need to see today. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling through time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. Allow the images to flow up from your soul as you orient yourself in this new place within this lifetime. And tell me what you see around you.
There's been a revolution.
Tell me more about that.
Rising and overthrowing. Yes. The Chewbacca people switched sides and joined us. Now I am now the leader of the city. The big fat one is gone.
Mm.
Yes.
Big fat one is gone, is he?
Yes. Very good. Much better. And we have found the power source. It's beautiful, beautiful power source. Huge crystal.
Mm.
Yes. And it's now, we are in the process of using it for good and freeing the city.
Mm. So tell me about how the revolution took place. You can walk me through that.
My incarceration was not well received. I'm very well known in the city and very well respected and liked in the city. And I have also always been friends with the Chewbacca people. So when everyone realized what was happening, it is not their real name, the Chewbacca people. This is what this one is calling them.
Mm.
The Goja. The Goja.
The Gojo.
Goja.
Goja. Okay. Very interesting.
Gojo changed sides. Well, they were never really on the other side, but they were forced to do what they had to do.
Mm.
And they decided, because they were the ones with those guns, not everybody had those powerful guns that could destroy people.
Mm.
And so they, well, basically turned it around.
Mm.
Yes. There was much disruption in the area that I worked and lived. And then that spread, and then the Goja decided that they would step in with it. And then they used the guns to destroy the fat one and a few of his hanger-ons. And yes, it's much better. So we are now rebuilding the city, and in a not rebuilding buildings, the buildings are still there, but rebuilding the culture within the city.
Mm.
It's been destroyed, and it was just living in a complete level of fear all of the time.
Mm.
Yes, and very suppressed, controlled. So we have opened up all of the restrictions, and people are able to wander to the forest and to the lake and other places that were out of bounds freely whenever they like.
Mm. It's wonderful that they can go to all of those places now.
Yes, yes, of course. And so they should. They've had their families taken, their lives destroyed. They've been moved from their planets to this one.
Mm.
So freedom is something that they absolutely should have.
Mm. What planet is the Goja people from? Do they have their own place that they were taken from too?
Yes, everyone who came here from a different place. I am not aware of any native people here. Everyone is an immigrant, shall we say.
I see. And so, what
Goja
happened?
people. I don't know what planet they're from. Goja planet. Lots of planets from far or far away, lots of places, so many different places.
Mm.
We will rebuild over time. It'll take time, though. Yeah, in the process of this, yes.
Tell me what happens in the city now.
Yes, well, we still actually have the tower, which is where I originally was, yes. But we're not using it for controlling purposes. We're just interested in what is happening, because we haven't been able to do that part. So we are listening a little bit and just finding out if our people are still around and perhaps which planet they are on. There are all sorts of ideas of whether people want to go back to their home planet or whether they want to stay here. Yes, all of this is being worked out.
So tell me more about you being the leader of this city.
Yes, well, it's not really something that I really feel like we need a leader as such. However, long term we won't. But I think at the moment when we're in this very turbulent change time and everyone is still trying to understand what freedom looks like and understand what their next move will be, it is possibly helpful for me to be the person they can look to for guidance or advice. Yes, that's really my role.
So they look to you for guidance now.
Yes, I can. like a teaching role, but not teaching.
Mm.
Guidance of finding themselves and guidance of where they'd like to live on this planet or on another planet, because
Mm.
we were not allowed to live anywhere other than the city. But there are other places on this planet, of course, where we could live, and maybe there are other people living there we just don't know.
Mm.
So there is much to look at. Some people are explorer types and want to go and explore this planet. Some people are not bothered by that. They would prefer to just go home back to their original planet, and in
Mm.
which case we need to have some spaceships. And currently we do not have.
Oh, you don't have any, do you?
No, because it was always visited. This planet was always visited, and they would never. Well, there could be one. We think there may be some underground facility where they may be stored. Potentially, we haven't found it yet, though.
Mm.
But maybe there is one here. Um, but normally they would just come, drop people off, and then leave again.
Mm.
So we were like an outpost.
Mm. I see. So you're trying to look for where this underground area is?
Yes, possible. There is something. It's possible, but
Mm.
it's a large area, and the city is big, and yes, it's certainly, if there is a craft, it has not been used regularly, so it would be an older craft, I would imagine.
Mm. I see. Very good. Now let's close that scene. Close that scene. And in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we're going to travel through a tunnel of time, travel through time and space to another important day in this lifetime that we are viewing, that we need to see today. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling through time, and 2, almost there, and 1, be there now, allowing the images to flow up from your soul as you orient yourself in this new place within this lifetime, and tell me what you see.
This city has grown a lot. Many people decided to stay if they had their children here. So the city has grown. There's a lot more trees and waterways, and it's becoming beautiful around the edge of the city. It's lovely. And I am just now more of a, I never wanted to be the leader as such. Do not think it is necessary. I'm more of an elder, I guess.
Hmm.
And people to still ask for advice, but I am not making decisions. People, they're free. They understand now what that freedom looks like.
Hmm.
They are able to make their own decisions and their own choices. Yes.
Hmm. Can you tell me about how the explorations went?
Yes, they were quite successful. We did find a craft, but it was very old. It was no good. So instead of that, we rebuilt the tower, and we communicated with our home planets, one or two of them, not all of them, and they came. And So some people decided to go home in their craft from the home planet. And the home planet, yes, left a crafts for us, not many, one or two or three, but enough to go, and then we can build from those. Because when you do not have the template to work with, it's very difficult to build craft. But now we have one, and we're absolutely able to build more. So we are in the process of building more craft. Yes.
So have you explored elsewhere on this planet as well?
Yes, we have, yes. There is not much life here, though. It is quite a desolate planet apart from our city. There are a few indigenous, shall we say, groups around that we have discovered. But no, it weren't the bits that we have. So we have flown around the whole planet now in the craft, but because we have found more crystals in different places that can help power these craft for short distances. We have not seen anyway, large cities. Have not seen any large cities, any others, only ours. But there are plenty of places of beauty on the planet, which is lovely. And yes, it is okay. It has all that we need, and now we are not controlled. We are able to grow as a people.
Beautiful. And is there all sorts of different people in the city or beings?
Yes, many. Many. A lot of minority groups, as I said. They were the ones that were targeted because they are the ones that people do not miss, I suppose, as much. So, yes, there's many minority groups here. They're slightly unusual looking beings, I suppose, compared to humans. Or even compared to their own race, slightly different looking. Yes. And that is why most of them chose to stay, because they are different. Even to go home and then be different, and the rest of your kin has been destroyed. That is not an easy thing to do. So most people would prefer to be among other people with that same trouble, I guess. Yes.
I see. And what happens next in this city? Is of any importance to you?
We all live a very long time. We have very long lifespans. And we are really just growing and thriving in this way. And the importance is the value of freedom and the value of coming together as a people, regardless of what type of or how you look. But if you all are in the same boat, so to speak, you can, yes, come together and make a change, I suppose, which is what we did. Very good.
Sounds very lovely.
It is, from much adversity and much pain and suffering to a wonderful ending, which is good. Yes.
Good. Beautiful. Now close this scene. And in a moment, we're going to travel the last day in the lifetime that we are viewing, you will not feel any physical sensations at all. You can experience this first person, or you can view it as an observer. That's up to you. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling through time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. You won't feel any physical sensations at all, and you can view this as if it's a movie. Tell me what you see.
Old on the bed. Lost all my green colour. I'm kind of like a grey colour.
Mm.
Got heaps of people around me, heaps.
Mm.
Yeah, just old and dying. Yeah,
So
like
they've
really
all,
old.
so they've all come to say their goodbyes to you.
Yeah. And I think there's a party or something afterwards. They know.
And will you be watching?
I'll be watching. Yeah, that was part of the plan. He had it written up. He wanted everyone to have a big party, fireworks and stuff. Mm.
It's amazing.
Mm. Yeah. And then just dies, nothing spectacular, just passes away. Just
Mm.
old, like really old, like 400 years old, isn't it stupid?
Mm.
Massively old. Yeah. Yeah. And they just all big party. Yeah. Mm.
So what does that party look like as he comes out of the body and he has a look at what party is going on? Describe the scene for me.
It's a bit weird because it's like they can see him. They can see his energy. Like even though he's passed away, like they can see him. Yeah. And there's just lots of music and eating and crying, but laughing and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Mm. Well, there are all sorts of different beings
Oh,
joining in.
just massive amount of beings. Yeah, huge. Yes, there's so many different types. I don't even know what they look. It's just massive amount of different types of beings. It's like the whole city. I mean, I don't know how big this city in comparison. It's not like New York or something as big as that. Or like a big town. Excuse me, a big town or something. I think. Anyway, it feels like everybody's turned out, and they're all
Mm.
going to the lake, and making a big sort of procession to the lake.
And what are they doing at the lake?
Yeah, just looking at that, they're actually doing like they do in India. They've put them on a rafty thing, and they're setting fire to the body.
Oh,
Yeah,
and he's watching from a
yeah,
spirit form, is he?
mm.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're just all partying. I don't know. It's just, yeah, just dancing, and music, and yeah.
Mm. That sounds incredible. Now I want you to look all around you for that huge white light, the white light of source that pulls you towards it as if you're a magnet. The light of home, it's where you're from, and it draws you towards it. And I want you to head towards that white light of home. I want you to tell me what you see as you make your way there.
Just pulling away from the planet, the all of that stuff. arrived in this cell. White light.
And so now you're back in that white light of home, of source, and you allow yourself to integrate. Is there anyone here waiting for you as you make your way to this white light?
Some more Mantis people here.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm happy to see them. I haven't seen them for a long time, so it's good.
And tell me more about what you feel the lesson was in that lifetime that we've just viewed.
It's a lesson of hope. That not everything ends in a negative way.
Mm.
Some things start out negative and end up positive.
Mm. Of a happy ending.
Yeah.
Mm. Wonderful. What was the particular mission of that lifetime? Did your soul decide to do or impart?
Yes, well, hello, I am the higher self. The soul wanted to experience being a leader, and this is exactly what that fractal of the soul did. A fractal of myself did, yes. Very successfully too, I might add. Good job.
So you could have shown this one many different lifetimes today. Why did you show them that lifetime of the Mantis being?
Exactly as she said, it is about understanding there is a balance. Not all, many lifetimes I have shown her so far have been very traumatic, shall we say. Races, elementals being destroyed by Anunnaki, this type of thing. So this is the opposite. This is the opposite. This is the happy, this is the silver lining. And of course, the very time that you are all, including you, my dear, incarnated in, this is what is happening on Earth to a degree. And it is important to understand that you are not the only beings that have had this happen, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel that is going to change. And she needs to understand this, because it is very hard sometimes for humans to fully comprehend the whole picture. And we get hooked up on certain things that are perhaps the more negative aspect of that whole picture. Yes.
So is there a silver lining to our time here on Earth at this present time as well?
Yes, of course. Lots of silver linings. This is very, as you are both aware, this is a very poignant time. And unfortunately, to get to the end result, it is necessary to have some turmoil. And that is the beginnings of which we have been seeing over the last really 10 years. This has been happening. And so now we are at that tipping point. We're at the tipping point, and then there will be an event, and we are at this stage. The timeline is, as you talked about at the beginning of this session, November, for that to happen. And then from there, the light side will not allow things to go back to how it was. It will not be able to, because the vibration will shift. The problem will be that the humans want it to go back to what it was, because most of them do not understand where you are actually in the vibrational, where you have been in the lower vibrational state. They do not understand that that is their normal. So they do not understand it does not have to be like that. It should be up here. So they will want to go back. And so the problem is that this may take some longer than most of the light workers would like for the change to be complete. But complete it will be, but there will be some, yes, turmoil in between, definitely. Yes.
Because she wanted to know if there was any information that you're able to share about the so-called shift. That would be greatly appreciated so that she could understand.
Yes, she always wants to know, and you all do, because we are unable to give you an exact answer because timelines shift, of course. However, the timelines currently are converged, so that normally they are all spread out and you can hop and jump between them all, but at the moment they are converged. So the options are few, and really they all lead to the same place, because the Earth's soul plan, if you'd like to call it that, is that she will ascend in the age of Aquarius, and this is what, of course, she is doing. And there is no single being in the galaxy that can stop the Earth from doing that. It is just like when this one decides that she wants to, I don't know, do something, ascend, grow in her own way. There's no one that can stop her from doing that. And it's exactly the same for the Earth. She's a being in her own right. And so therefore, she is going to do it, whether everybody likes it or not. So, but the thing is the fallout of that is how it will be where these timelines go, and the split will happen.
Okay, so is that the split between the old Earth and the new Earth? Is that the same thing that Dolores was talking about?
Yes, Dolores, bless Dolores. Yes, this is it. It's not so much of a split as such. It sort of is, but it's a different version. It's a different version, you know. And those people, or everyone, will get the opportunity to choose where they want to go. But for those who have done no work, it will be very much harder, of course. And for those who have had any form of, let's call it an injection, or some form of interference from the dark side in whatever way that is more of a permanent interference rather than an entity attachment. So if you raise your vibration, as you talked about earlier in this session, it is much harder for the entities to attach. They still will, but they can't stay as long, and it's much harder for them. But yes, and that is one thing. So those entities, as you raise up, the entities will fall away. They don't fall away, they just will go to the different shifted timeline. They have to go there. They cannot go to the higher timeline because the fifth and sixth dimension cannot hold those things. So it is a bit difficult because it is just a bit difficult to say exactly how the shift is going to happen, because certain people's vibration will not be able to handle the shift, and it will send them a little bit crazy. And because they are vibrators, if they have had interference, that interference is deliberate to stop them shifting. So this will, I mean, not for everyone, because the interference wasn't standardized. So the interference was a little bit up and down. It wasn't a very good interference, really. So it was good, but not standardized at that sort of high level of interference. So some people will have much more interference than others for the
Mm.
shift. Yes, it will be, in other words, a mixed bag. It's going to be a very mixed bag. And I have
Mm.
told this one that is very important. She's very well prepared, actually. She just needs to get a generator, which we talked about before. But they did have one, but it broke. But so she needs the generator. If she wants to have any form of electricity, she needs a generator, because this is one of the things that will disappear. Because the humans will not change unless the circumstances are extreme.
Mm.
So unfortunately, this is what happens when we end up in such a polarized, difficult realm.
Mm.
Yes, so
And,
the changes will be hard for many. Yes.
mm. And people say to also get cash out. Is that something that should be done?
I think it would be very wise for the first part of this process. I don't think it would be very wise to have it for a long time.
Mm.
Have enough for a couple of weeks, but that would be about it. Because if you need to buy something at the shop, whichever shop decides to be open, and if you have enough fuel to get to the shop, that will work for a couple of weeks. But then the shop will run out and you won't be able to buy anything with your cash. And
Mm.
then cash will be removed. The currency will be removed probably entirely. And you will be stuck with a whole lot of cash that, you cannot use. So there is this balance.
Mm.
This is my take on this. Yes, unless you have enough of everything so you do not have to go to the shop. Like this
Mm.
one has enough of everything for quite a while. So it does
Mm.
not have to go to the shop. Then
Mm.
you do not really need cash. It would be better to buy crypto. It's very important that you have crypto. And I have told this one, she's very nervous about crypto. You do not need to put a lot of money into crypto. Just buy a little bit of Bitcoin. The light side wants to reward those who take action. And in the crumbling of the existing system, it is entirely possible, although not 100% definite, that the crypto side of things will become the new way, and that the light will be able to reward those who have helped them to get to this point. But they cannot do that if you do not have a crypto account. You have to have a crypto account, even if it just has $100 in it, in order for the light to do that. If that is part of the thing that happens, it's a bit like the cash situation. It might
Mm.
not happen, but it would be advisable to have a crypto account with a little bit of Bitcoin or something,
Mm.
whichever one, probably Bitcoin.
Mm.
Ethereum maybe as well, or instead. But yes, that would be my advice around the money thing. It is very difficult with money because the money system is what is going to collapse. That
Mm.
will 100% collapse. So having lots of money in the bank is not a great plan.
Mm. And on that note, could we know about the 888 portal that we're in today, the Lionsgate portal, what that means and how is it significant?
Yes, what a wonderful portal. 888. All of these portals are timely, aren't they? Because of the shift. It does not happen all of the time that there is an 888 portal. So this is all part of this raising of the Earth's vibration, and this has been set for a long, long, long time. this is really happening. So the 888 portal really is just another opportunity to download the frequencies from that are being sent to Earth to help her in her ascension in this whole process. As you know, you are all conduits for the light codes for Earth. It helps her to receive them grounded way so that they come through you as the conduit and then they ground properly into the Earth. This activates the Earth's natural ley line system, grid system, her natural flower of life, if you like, around her. Yes, and of course all of the light workers are strategically placed on this grid. You understand this, then this helps to anchor these energies. And the 888 portal is a deep activation of this grid. And there are people around the world doing some very fabulous things in places like Glastonbury and Stonehenge and some of those key places around the world and holding space for the portal today. It is just more energy than normal coming in. And of course, by being a conduit, you receive some of those codes. Some of them stick in you. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to open up to that portal and allow it to happen. Allow the energy to flow through. Yes.
And is it significant today to have this particular session because of that?
Of course. Nothing is by accident, as well you know. No, everything is organized. Yes. Both of you require these downloads in a larger way, and by having this session we open up space and allow that to happen, which is a great thing. Yes. You can look all sorts of things you can look into these things in all sorts of ways, but the fundamental basics are: be open to the downloads and allow them to flow through you, and allow yourself to be that conduit. Very important. Yes. So some people will go into the nitty-gritty. That's not your two's path. Both of you are to ground this energy. That is part of this. Yes.
Are there any upgrades that she can benefit from at this time?
Well, she's receiving them now, of course.
Mm.
And so are you. And so this will continue over the next 12 hours whilst the portal is still open. And then it will be another 10 days perhaps before more uploads or more downloads particularly come in. Yes, these need to settle and first. Yes.
And she also know if there's any healing or help required by the physical body at this time.
I'll just have a scan for you. Yes, gallbladder. Intestine. The vulvar region. Yes, we can add healing to those places. Yes. It will happen over the next 48 hours.
Okay, beautiful. Could I ask what you're doing as you're healing the body so that this one can listen back and understand?
Yes, we are channeling source light down and into the body via our connection and also via her soul guides.
Mm.
And we are also bringing in energy from the earth up into those areas for healing.
Mm. And what sort of upgrades are happening during the 8-8 portal at this time for her?
Yes, these are all to do with ascension upgrades, really. It's all to do with activating the DNA that has been dormant for a very long time in humanity,
Mm.
and which allows the ascension to be less physically demanding. So her husband, for example, is having many physical issues because his DNA is not upgraded as much as this one. And so therefore the ascension process, which as I said at the beginning is not optional. The earth is doing this ascension whether you like it or not. And so either you come along kicking and screaming, or you do the downloads, do the uploads, and you actually flow with it and you grow with it. And you may have some symptoms, yes, but not as much.
Mm. And do crystalline bodies, the body's structure changing to crystalline, does that have anything to do with it? Is that something that is happening or is it not?
In part, yes. This is something that happens more when you are when everybody is shifted to the 5D and 6D. This will become more, that will be the next stage, was to become more and more crystalline in that area. So that people talk about this, but that's because they are already in the 6D themselves. Their consciousness is already in there, so they can see that happening. But with the physical body, it's very difficult in 3D to become crystalline. You will have some parts of that happening, but that will really happen more when we move into the 5 and 6D. Yes.
Mm. Beautiful. Because I just had some clients recently that were quite scared about that crystallization, the crystalline body.
Yes, it is virtually, it's very difficult in the 3D. It's not, it would, well, you would pass away because you can't have crystals wandering around your body. It's not going to work, is it?
Mm.
So that is why you have very, very, very small particles, and they are, you know, that is what you need in the 3D. But as you move, but this will not happen until the shift has happened completely, as you call
Mm.
it, the shift, because your body, your physical body, will not be able to handle it. So it must have the upgrades first. If you imagine the flower of life through pattern, through the body, we are strengthening all of that and kind of hardening that, which is a little bit like the crystalline idea. And then once we move, we'll be able to add more. It's just more light, really. It's more light being able to flow through, and more connection
Mm.
both ways, because your grid is open and strong, and the crystals in your body are activated, and the crystals in the earth are reactivated, and so all of that interlinks with one another, and then it works much better.
Mm. And as we go up in the dimensions, will we be able to do different things?
Yes, yes. Of course, all of your gifts, your spiritual gifts, are already coming online more and more, and that will continue to happen, definitely. And for some people, the enhancement of those spiritual gifts is what they will have. That will be very much like there is in the 3D, where you have a variance of talent, let's call it that, or skills. It'll be the same. There's no different. Some people will be very good at alchemy. Other people will be very good at telepathy. it'll be and they won't be able to do the alchemy. So it'll be a mix of skills, and there will be people who are better at it than others. Yes.
Wonderful. It's really wonderful. And is all of her chakras spinning and open as they should be? And is her aura all intact?
Yes, you've done a great job. And we've been helping along the way. So yes, everything is fine.
And are there any entities or energies or AI or implants that are still attached to them in the body that are not for her best and highest good that we can take out today, or are they all good for this time?
I'm scanning for you now. There is a small thing in the very top of the head. We'll just remove that now and take that out.
Thank you.
Other than that, it's good. There are no cords. We have deleted the cords.
Beautiful. So what was that thing in the top of the head?
Looks like a AI, but again, more of a implant. Yes.
And we did have a demonic being jump in from the laptop earlier.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that one and how that one got in?
Yes. Well, exactly as it said, there was a portal that opened through the camera in the laptop. And this being was, I think, waiting. It was a deliberate situation. And then it flew in. Yes.
Okay. So did it not want her to say any of this information?
Well, it is not really that they don't want this one to say, they do not want me to say this information. That is the problem. So if they can disrupt the connection with the higher self, it's very helpful for them.
I see.
They do not want any information getting out because information is power and they want the power. And so by withholding the information, that is where they control things much easier like that. So yes, but good learning for everybody. And yes. And of course, this one channels these beings in quite a physical way. So it was not pleasant for her to have that being in her.
No, it was not pleasant. It jumped in just as we were removing another one.
Yes. The earthbounds, she collects earthbounds. And that is okay. That is part of her learning, is to remove them. And she does frequently remove them. So, yes, the earthbounds are fairly benign, really. They're not there very long before they get a bit shifted on. But that one was a bit different, for sure.
And is that part of her task to collect those to help them move on?
Yes, she has done many, many, many thousands of earthbounds. Moved them through many. Yes.
And speaking of her body as well, can you tell her the quantum root cause of her lichen sclerosis and offer healing around this, please? What is the root cause of that? Is it from another lifetime that she's had, or a series of lifetimes?
Yes, there has been sexual trauma in many lifetimes. And this is one of the fallouts of that. She is also in need of managing her sugar intake, which she is started to do recently. And that is because that does not help. It does not help because the inflammation in the body is what causes these autoimmune diseases. It is all down to inflammation. And all down to the poison that the humans insist on putting in their body in various formats. But the lichen sclerosis, this is a self-worth issue as well. Feeling as if she is not worthy of sexual pleasure. This type of thing. Some of this we can dissolve. I'll do that now. But some of it she needs to meditate on and work through in what we would call shadow work. So some of that needs to be done on a one-on-one with her. I can definitely get rid of the ancestral trauma part. We do not need that anymore. And actually she has dealt with a lot of that, so that can just no longer, there is no karma to resolve with that. So we will remove that. Yes.
Okay. Is that ancestral karma question that she wrote down?
I think she is talking that is a slightly different angle. There is ancestral karma that we will not deal with that today. But yes, there is. And this is more around relationships. But that is something for another time.
Would it be appropriate for her to do with that shadow work like an entire session on that lichen sclerosis and where that originates from?
She may feel that she wants to do that. She is quite a powerful meditator. I'm confident she could do this herself. She has dissolved many things on her own accord. But if she felt that she wanted another session to do this, yes, if it was more helpful.
Okay.
I know that the entity side of things with this program makes it hard for her because they come in completely. It's not just a voice. So it makes it very exhausting. So she may wish to do it herself.
Okay. Very good. And what is the quantum root cause of her lower back pain as well? And are you able to help dissolve any remaining ties to this?
Yes, just scanning the lifetimes. Now, she broke her back in a lifetime. So this is probably why this is coming forward. So we can resolve that. That does not need to come into this lifetime, and certainly does not need to come into the next one. And again, if she can meditate on it and allow that healing to settle, actually, because this is also a sort of, not a habit, it's not the right word. It is something that it's sort of a habit. It's just something she needs to not expect. It's an expectation that the back will be bad. So we need to dissolve that expectation. And that's more of a physical thing for her to go through.
So is it just about changing her thinking around her back and then her back will change?
Yes. Now that the tie from the previous lifetime has gone, we do not need that. And yes, it is mindset over these things, because it can be dissolved, the ancestral part, but if you have a habit or a addiction or a expectation that this will be the way it will be, that will be the way it will be. So we have to remove that, and that has to be done on a individual soul level. Yes. It's the same with eating disorders and things like this. You can dissolve the reason for getting it in the first place, but if your eating disorder is been around for a long time, it becomes a habit to overeat or not eat or whatever.
Mm.
And therefore that's the part that needs to be done on the physical side.
Mm. And as that is released from her or healed from her, what are you doing to the body? Can you just give me an indication as to how the body is healing so that she can listen back?
Yes, I'm actually sending golden light down the spine and just realigning the spine and allowing it to understand that it needs to be in alignment, and strengthening, giving some healing and strengthening to all of the spinal cord, the bones and the ligaments of the spinal cord in this way. The golden light flowing through the actual spinal cord itself, right the way down, all the way down. And yes, there, as we readjust. Very good. Yes.
Mm. Beautiful. And she also wanted to know about the ancestral karma that she still needs to resolve, if she's able to release any part of that today.
No, not today. That is for another session.
Okay.
We'll deal with ancestors in another session. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. And she also wanted to know, what crystals do you think that she should use at the present? In what ways they would be helpful at this time?
Yes. It's a very interesting question. I do recommend labradorite would be very good. It's a very high vibrational stone. It's also very protective and has a multifaceted color way, which is indicative of thinking of things in a different way, allowing things to, surprises to come, that type of thing. Labradorite would be nice. She wears lots of crystals every day, and all of them are fine. She must remember that the AI is evolving, becoming very difficult, and so it is the protection is important, of course, but we must remember to clear ourselves because it is very, very difficult to protect completely. We must clear at the end of the day. So not to beat yourself up too much. Do what you can, and then at the end of the day, remove everything. Yes.
Mm.
Many crystals. She could wear any crystal that makes her feel good.
Mm. And the EMF protection crystals like shungite and tourmaline, are they better against AI?
The difficulty is that the AI has evolved to use consciousness, and shungite and all of those crystals do not protect against that. And they know that. That's why they have used these fractals of consciousness around the edge of the AI. So it does, however, protect you against other things that you don't want. Thought forms, demonic entities, even earthbounds don't like it. So it protects you against those things. It is not going to work in a solid way against consciously AI that is surrounded in consciousness. Unfortunately, it is not possible to completely protect against that at this stage.
Mm.
It's very clever. It's evolving and changing. And so are we. And of course, so is the Earth. So it's not clever enough, but in the meantime, it's a pest and an irritant for many, many people. So we just have to deal with it as best as we can and not get too tied up in it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And is there positive AI in the universe, or is it all negatively oriented?
Well, there is the potential for positively polarized AI. However, it is not left alone. The AI is not left alone. It has made a decision as to which side it wants to be on. So has absolutely got the potential to be positive, but most of it, I would say, all of it, is not. Yes, because it is evolving so fast. So even if it starts out as a positively intended piece of AI, then the dark side, if we call it that, finds it and puts a layer on it which changes it. So it's a very difficult war in the AI world. There is so much of it, it's everywhere. And this is what I mean. It's very difficult to protect yourself completely from it. So you must learn to clear yourself of it effectively. And this one has been trialing many different ways to do that. And one of them, which is effective, and I'm sure she will tell you about it, is a purple light grid around the AI, and then the net of light around it. And that seems to contain it quite well and remove it quite well. And you can also double layer your auric field with a high frequency band, then another high frequency band, and in between purple grid of light. And that does help to protect against the AI entering if it is done with enough intention. So there are one or two ways we have been trialing. It is sort of some success, but yes, clearing is going to be the way. Understanding your energy, understanding your full energy, your sovereign energy, and knowing when there is something in it.
And does
at the moment it will change, but just at the moment this is where we're at.
And does blasting it with light help?
Yes, it does. For some of the AI it does. Yes, it is. The purple mesh, if you know where it is, will lift out all of it much more effectively. It's just another layer. Yes. But no, the white light is definitely, it works very well. Of course, it's the most powerful light that we have. But sometimes this AI is so crafty and clever that we just need to be crafty and clever too. And they don't suspect the purple mesh. They don't then run away or hide. They don't know what it is. And then you blast them with the white light. So it's a bit of a double prong attack.
Wonderful. So what crystals would be helpful for the AI?
None of them will completely stop it. Maybe no, that's not quite true. If you had gridding, if you had powerful crystals and gridding, they wouldn't, it would not be able to come in. But in an everyday practical sense, it's at the moment with the AI using the consciousness as a hiding tool, it is becoming very difficult. Yes, and so small. Some of it is very, very small. And as you mentioned, coming out of the sky and in the ocean, water supplies via the chemicals in the water. It really is at the moment everywhere. But again, it is a lower frequency. And so as we shift, it will not eventually be there. But at the moment, we're just in that transition to much less time where it is prevalent. Yeah. So you must not fear it. We must just deal with it. When we surround ourselves with too much protection, we must always be mindful that we are not living in fear of it. We must always be in control and understand how to deal with it. Yes.
She also wanted to know what to do with her property in Hamilton.
Yes, this will reveal itself. Her husband has much to do with this, and perhaps she should give him a healing, and then that will allow things to flow a little bit easier.
Wonderful. And what she also wanted to know at this time is, what is her galactic family?
Yes, she always wants to know about that. Well, she knows that she has Arcturian connections. And she goes back. She's a teacher in Arcturus. She goes back at night time, and when she sleeps, and she downloads what she has learnt to the Arcturians. So there's that part. And I have told her before that she started out on a planet that was blown up, and then she became a sort of refugee, if you like. I am hesitating because although I know that you are very au fait with much of the galactic world because you are a galactic yourself, of course. This one is not. She has been on Earth for thousands of years, and she needs to sort the Earth problems first. So the galactic family is not irrelevant because she's still very connected to them, and she has parts of, as you saw this evening, parts of her multidimensional self that are on other planets, of course. But I do not want her mission to become tainted with galactic intent when it needs to be Earth facing and Earth focused. It's very important at this time for all of you. There's no point looking to the stars when you have a planet underneath you that needs your help. So, yes, there is much to learn about our galactic families, and it is interesting. However, the mission at the moment is to help the Earth ascend. That is the mission for all light workers on this planet. And it is very important, especially these next 6 months, that this is done with intent and regularly, and all spare time and energy and focus is put into that. That is the primary objective. And then we can learn about these things, because what happens is once I divulge that information, and it's not secretive, of course not. Once I divulge it, I know that she will go off on a tangent and spend much time learning about other planets and other this and this. But she needs to finish what she started many, many thousands of years ago. This is what she has been trying to finish. And so this is very important that she focuses on this at the moment. So that is why I am not divulging too much information. Just because I know that this one will go off topic, so to speak, and get very interested in something new. So yes, that is why.
So is she just very much tied to, I guess, the karmic situations that she's had to deal with on Earth?
Yes, yes. And many souls have been. And just in a loop for such, in human terms, in universal terms, not very long at all, but in human terms, an enormous amount of time. Absolutely enormous amount of time. So, reason why they want to keep coming back is because they know this time now is coming. And so now it's very important to finish that and do it properly. Yes, and do what she needs, which she is doing. Absolutely, she's doing a lot of that, but she just doesn't need the distraction. Yes, and actually, most light workers do not need to be distracted. They need to focus on the task. Yes.
I feel that sometimes that things come around in a circle with the Earth, the ancient Earth, and then with the galactic timelines as well. And is that happening for her if we go back, back along those timelines?
Exactly. It is exactly what is happening. Yep. It is. Everything is a circle. The symbol of infinity. Think of this. Or the pendulum swinging from side to side. Or a circle. Yes, it'll all come together at the right time, but this is not quite the right time. Almost, but not quite.
Mm. Wonderful. Is there any final messages for this one?
No, she's doing very well. She needs to just calm down at work. She does not need to be edgy at work. The work is a temporary position. It's a full-time position forever, according to the work, but from our perspective, it's temporary. And that will all change. She just needs to ride it through for a couple of more months. That's all. She's not very good at being managed by people. So this is another learning for her. It's an opportunity to learn. But so just to keep calm and just to play the game a little bit longer, and it'll all come right. And to give the husband a healing. Yes.
Can I ask you to keep upgrading the body and continuing with any healing that may be needed by this one over the next 3 nights in their sleep states?
Yes, of course.
And is there any final message that you'd like to give to this one today?
No, I think that's quite enough.
Okay, wonderful. And thank you so much for coming through today and conversing with me. Thank you for all of the help, healing, and wisdom that you've provided today.